Are you recording?
We're recording now, George.
I really have no idea what we're doing. Anyway.
Okay.
This is how I like to flow.
Is
right
it
here.
Well, he said. I told George. He said, "Let's just go."
I've even got my toothpick in because
Yeah.
I can't do this without.
But this is a podcast.
This is a podcast.
Okay.
Podcast.
All right.
All right, we got to get serious.
You wear a lot of hats, and we're trying to decide what your title is, and there's a lot of hyphens. What should we call you?
Husband, father,
Yeah,
faith,
big ones.
Nice.
hats. So I run a company called Core Freedom Alliance, DBA Core Freedom Tactical. So I do a lot of safety ministry development, travel around the U.S. and set up safety security teams in churches. Love doing that. That's kind of my passion. Martial arts has always been my thing. Retired law enforcement after 16 years, so I still dabble in that, I guess, a little bit. I cross-train. So
What
there's a lot of
agency?
cops.
Or
So I
agencies?
started, it's agencies. I started in 89, 90 on the EMS side of things.
Yep.
And then I went into the medic world. This was before Tim's medics were even a thing. So I started working for a law enforcement agency as a medic.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
This was in Michigan and the greater Detroit area. Spent 5.5 years up there, worked for University of Michigan Hospital as a medic in the ER.
Yeah.
So I did the medic stuff. So I kind of came into law enforcement through the back door. I actually did
Yeah.
a lot of ops with SWAT and then ended up falling in love with law enforcement. Wife and I are married in 94. We moved to Columbia, South Carolina. I go to work for the Richland County Sheriff's Office, clanging and banging down there. That was a high-speed agency.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, high speed. And spent 6 years there, moved out here, went to work for Dougco. Story behind that actually is kind of funny. I came out here in 99, getting ready to, maybe we'll move to Colorado. We came out and visited. I'd never seen the mountains before, so my wife and I hadn't had a honeymoon, married in 94, honeymooned in 97, went to the mountains, went skiing, fell in love with it. I'm like, we got to go to Colorado. Came out in 99 to do a job interview. Hoped to meet some agency heads. Douglas County was the first place I came to, and the lady at the front desk said, "Yeah, it's Wednesday overlap. None of the command staff is here. They're all outside playing hockey." And I said, "I'm sorry, what?" And she said, "Yeah, they're up in Parker. They play hockey on their lunch hour." Give me the address.
Yeah.
And I went up and I found them. They were on an outdoor rink playing inline hockey. And the guy they were putting me in touch with was the name of Bob Krause. I guess he was the number 3 guy in the agency. Went over, sat down and talked with him. And I said, "Hey, I'm here from out of state. I'm looking at agencies, but I also play hockey." And they said, "Well, we got a department hockey team. What size skate do you wear?" Told them.
6.
They brought the guy. Yeah, they brought one of the guys over. Chief Krause says, "Take off your skates and give them to this guy." And I went out and immediately scored a few goals.
First off, cooties, but go on.
Thank you. I know. I'm all right with that. I was secure my manhood. I scored a few goals. We went to police fire games, but I got hired because I played hockey. I don't think I got hired because I was in law enforcement.
Who's the sheriff?
It's a great interview.
It was
Zotos?
No, Zotos.
Oh, Zotos.
It was Steve Zotos was the sheriff. I don't even remember who the undersheriff was, but Krause was the number
Could have been
3 guy.
Acre, but
Might have been Mike Akery. Yeah. So, so we won police fire games that year. And I had been on the job about 4 months, and I got my thumb blown off in a training incident out of Highlands Range Post Academy. They reattached it. It just doesn't bend anymore. So it just sits there. So, you can rotate it. Ended up out at Elbert County for a few years. And then we had
who's the sheriff under there?
Chris O'Neill at the time, which was awesome.
Before Franges.
Yeah. And then Franges came in, and I'll leave that where it is.
Yeah.
And so then I ended up in the Summit County agencies for a while, training up there. And then I decided to retire and executive protection and church safety ministry. So I went to work at Southeast Christian Church up in Parker. So 10,000 people a weekend, 600 kids in the school, 90 people on the team. It was like a small city. And that's
a team of 90?
Team of 90.
For that security thing?
Yeah. Well, we had to rotate 5 services in all the school. And
I don't want to get too sidetracked into the technicalities of it, but of those 90, how many are you pulling from the existing congregation versus I'm bringing these people in from the outside?
95%. Yeah. There were a few people I brought in from the outside, so we had some high end. It was a big church, so we had a lot of a couple senators there and some other folks. So I had some EP guys that were already and SF guys that were there. Yeah, about 95%.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great.
Well, let's back up a little bit. First off, Richland County, obviously, big time Columbia. You spent time at 5 Points, Vista, all those areas
I
out
lived
there.
down there. My very first bodyguard deal was Darius Rucker. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Hootie.
Yeah, Hootie. Before they were Hootie and the Blowfish, they were Hootie and 5 Points. And
Really?
well, basically, yeah, because it was Darius was kind of trying to make his thing, and then the band was slowly building, and so there's a story within a story. So Dean, who's the bassist in the band, Dean and I played hockey together.
What's with this hockey code?
Hockey
Dude,
connection.
it's, I've been playing since I was like 8. Dean and I played hockey, and he was on my team, and he said, "Hey man, this is gonna be my last game. I'm getting ready to go on tour." And I'm like, "Where are you going?" He says, "With the band." And I said, "What band?"
Yeah.
He told me. I said, "Never heard of it."
Which is probably legit at the time.
It was legit at the time because they were a bar
Yeah.
band. And so he brought me down, and they were getting ready to go out and kind of do their first. We're going to run around some cities in South Carolina.
Right.
This was before Cracked Review. Their big one.
That was the big one.
That was the big
That
one.
is
And
big
it
one.
was right before they launched that. So yeah, I did some bodyguard stuff for Darius and
Nice.
had some fun. And then they hit mega fame, and then my real first EP job was Tiger Woods because of Darius Rucker. We did a thing called Monday After the Masters, and Tiger had just won his first Masters the day before, and then came to Columbia, South Carolina to do this charity event, and so he was my first gig.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great place.
Columbia, of course, home of the University of South Carolina Gamecocks.
Cannot beat our Cox.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I had a T-shirt that I bought. I used to go out and teach prosecutors there from across the country at the National Advocacy Center, which is now all feds, but it used to be half state, half fed. And I got that T-shirt once that said, "You can't lick our cocks."
You can't lick our Cox.
Well,
And I brought that T-shirt home. My wife at the time said, "You're only allowed to ever wear that when you mow the backyard, and that's it." And I did. And then I threw it in the laundry, and I never saw it again.
Never saw it again. She
Never
took
saw
it. So there was a
that's why she's your ex-wife.
that shirt was so important to me.
5 foot or maybe 6 foot high mesh banner on the outside, probably 100 feet long on the outside of the tennis courts in 5 Points where the school was, and that's exactly what it was on the girls' tennis courts.
Yeah,
can't lick our cocks.
Can't
make that up.
My niece and nephew went to USC. They call it USC, and when they played Southern Cal, they played the Trojans, and I'm not even going to tell you what some of the shirts said.
Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
But yeah, George would have had one if he'd been in town.
Yeah,
I wonder if they've ever played each other.
No,
The
they
Cox
did.
and the Trojans.
No, it was when
USC.
George Rogers won the Heisman.
Oh.
It was, and USC beat him, but it was no Trojan can shoot our Cox.
No, of course.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
that's
every bad dad joke that could ever
Yeah,
exist
it was
was
bad.
floating
Yeah.
around 5 Points.
the
It's cool that you
12-year-old
know 5
boy in me.
Points.
What's it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a
Well,
great
we go to
area.
Charleston.
Yeah,
My
it
dad
is.
was stationed in
Great.
Charleston.
Great for
I went to
restaurants and
college,
stuff.
So I got to know Columbia too.
Okay, so Charleston, did you eat at Hyman Seafood?
Of course. I
Dude.
used to have the shirt.
So
Seriously.
You can't-
those
that's
t-shirts are
another
great.
thing you can't make up.
It's a true thing.
Hyman Seafood. Hyman Seafood is world
Big
renowned.
stuff.
It's world.
It's right down on the Battery, right there.
It's
I
on,
have
it's
not.
on.
It's on Meeting Street.
It's on Meeting Street,
Right.
and 2 or 3 brothers own it. They're all Jewish. They own the deli next door. They own the seafood place, and they own a bakery. But here's what's great about it: you go in, and they have these plates up on the wall, George. And they go through the whole restaurant. And there's 2 stories. It's like in an old wharf type restaurant. They'll seat hundreds
Oh, hundreds,
hundreds of
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But every table you sit at, here's somebody famous that sat at this table, and every plate up on the wall was signed, and every sitting president since the restaurant has been open
Really?
and previously has eaten there.
That's true.
And we walked up one day, and Eli Hyman is his name. He comes over to the table, he sits down, and this is not a joke. He looks at Jana and I, and he said, "I've seen you guys in this restaurant probably 8 or 10 times over the last 2 years. I want to introduce myself. My name's Eli. I own the restaurant. Where are you from?" And we said, "Columbia." And he said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, we come down to go to the Isle of the Palms for the beach, and then we come over to eat in your restaurant." He says, "You drive an hour and a half one way to come eat at my restaurant?" I said, "Yes, we do." He said, "I'll be right back." And he comes back, and he hands me this little key tag. He says, "You put this on your keys." And he goes, "The next time you're here," he goes, "you just hold this up in the air. And the maitre d', whatever you want to call them, they'll let you, because their motto is come early or late to avoid the wait. It's like standing room only.
Yeah.
To get
Oh,
into this
yeah,
place.
yeah.
Outside.
And he goes, "They'll bring you in the back door, and we'll have a table ready for you." And so Jana and I,
That's
for 5
incredible.
years,
Oh, dude.
ate at
pretty
that
good.
restaurant.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
free there all the time.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Well, okay, so you're in Colorado now.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
been here
hey,
26 years.
I'm going to give George a
Where'd
Hyman
you grow
shirt.
up?
Detroit, right?
No, I'm a mutt. I was born in Somerset, Kentucky, 8868 at 8:08 in the morning. I think the 808 was made up by the nurse. She thought that was cool. But the 8868 is legit. Out of wedlock to two 16-year-olds that bumped uglies in the back of a 64
My
Impala.
goodness, man.
And Dad was a chronic drunk. They were divorced 8 years later.
Oh, no.
Little bit of a sodomy thing that happened down there for a couple of years. Parents divorced. I'm over it now. We moved to Michigan when I was 8. And my mom, I was pretty troubled.
What part of Michigan?
Brighton.
Okay.
So north of Ann Arbor, north of the University of Michigan, about a half hour. And went to high school at Brighton High School. Then I got picked up to go play hockey for a couple different colleges and decided I wanted to try my hand at juniors, and I just failed at all of it. Apparently I wasn't fast enough to play, but I was good enough to fight.
Yeah. That's great. It's very Hanson Brothers.
It was Hanson Brothers, yeah. So we had I had a bit of a rough childhood. I was pretty wayward. Didn't have my sights set on much of anything. Yeah. Pretty hard-headed. Long and the short of it, ended up kind of banging around and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and started racing motorcycles and cars. Thought that'd be a cool living. I'll go race NASCAR. So I raced at a lot of the speedways. And
all right.
Did that while I was going to.
Any big races?
No, I raced at a Wasso Speedway. So I've won my share of heats and features on Sundays, but no big claim to fame stuff, but just fun.
Not Talladega Nights.
No. 6 pound
Ricky Bobby.
6 pound 8 ounce baby Jesus.
Yeah.
No,
that's right.
Nothing like that. But it did take me. It was God. I always say God knows what He's doing. You don't always see it. When I finally figured out what I was going to do in life after hockey didn't make pro and didn't make NASCAR,
right.
I thought, law enforcement sounds like a good fallback, and that's when I moved to. When my wife and I were married in '94, we moved to Columbia. I ended up I ended up setting the pursuit and precision driving record for the academy. To apparently, as I understand it, my buddy tells me to this day, the pursuit course still stands with my name on it.
Nice.
That was in '95. So,
but the precision piece, someone's done better.
Somebody's done better. Somebody's a better backer than I am.
Yes.
Somebody took out less pylons or something. I don't know, but it was. I say it jokingly, but I fell in love with law enforcement.
Yeah,
I really did. And that agency was a unique environment because when I went into it, it was banging. I didn't realize what I was walking into. I mean, it is. I was in over 400 pursuits in 5.5 years.
Wow.
And people are like, "That's a bunch of crap. There's no way." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you, if you weren't in a pursuit every shift, you weren't doing your job." So. Really loved it. And the sheriff, Leon Lott, that ran in '96 has run unopposed. He's still there in 2026. In fact, he's got a TV show on Netflix called Dead or Alive, Missing Dead or Alive. I mean, they've created so much stuff.
Really?
Out of the agency. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So really had a good short run, as I like to say, 16 years in law enforcement. But every place I worked, I just loved.
Go ahead. Sorry, Tom.
I was going to ask you, did you start martial arts while you were in law enforcement? Or?
No, my mom put me into martial arts and hockey at the exact same time because I was 8 years old and out of control. So she thought the smart thing to do was have somebody beat me up over here and then somebody beat me up over there, I think. And I fell in love with both. So I did. She stuck me in a thing called Ishinryu. Most people haven't heard of it. It's Okinawan. It's a lot of striking, kicking, some self-defense. It's a crossover of Taekwondo and Judo. So there's a lot of hip tossing. There's a lot of punching.
That's how you make babies, man. It's hip tossing.
Dude.
But the Ishinryu, I believe, is a wild type of wallaby, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It is a wild type of wallaby. I had a great time in martial arts. I did that for 24
Black
straight
belt?
years.
Yeah.
And
Are there belts, or is it
Ishinryu is different. You actually start with a white
anklets?
and it grays over the year, and your sensei determines it. It's not a graduation level like you would see in Taekwondo.
Right.
Or belts and stuff. Even in Jiu-Jitsu with the 5 belts, it's not even the same there. So yeah, I was fairly good at it. I could hold my own.
Did you ever compete like you did with NASCAR and the hockey?
I did. I did a lot of competitions.
And
yeah, I lost a lot. I won a few.
Are the competitions is it like Karate Kid stuff against another person, or is it you against wood products? I mean,
no, sir. No, this is like jiu-jitsu. I mean, the mat doesn't lie. In Ishinryu, you're getting your teeth kicked in, you're kicking somebody else. It's like hockey. Yeah, same thing. I think that's why I like it. You drop the gloves and you just beat the ever-living crap out of each other, and then you drink a beer afterwards.
Can you take the Ishinryu and combine it with hockey?
Yes.
Or like up on your skates, do you have the ability to do the crane or something?
Yeah,
like
I didn't
that?
do the crane because you can't use your skates, George, to kick in hockey. But I can tell you, you
well,
can absolutely elbow lock through the jersey and beat the ever-living crap out of somebody.
Oh, really?
So I was a much better fighter in hockey than I was in Ishinryu.
Oh.
Yeah, Ishinryu is it's like jiu-jitsu. I'm not very good at it, but I love it. I just got my blue belt in it at 57.
Nice.
And Jared Heyman, who I do our podcast with, owns the Rock Jiu-Jitsu team. He was very gracious, I think, to give me that belt. But I really like it. It's I didn't know.
Where is that on the Roy G. Bibb scale?
It's number 2.
Belts?
So so you're going to be white, blue, purple, brown, black, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah, and you got to be. There's a statement that Tom DeBlas put out. He's our affiliate head. I mean, he's the guy. It's kind of like the Gracie family, but he says a legitimate blue belt could take out 95% of humanity by them just one-on-one.
Good Lord.
Like you can really throw people around. And
should we open the door?
We should.
Because I just don't want you to lose your temper and all of a sudden people hear the podcast end with some screams from Tom.
Jiu-jitsu
is
it's a very humbling. I have a sweet young lady, Nancy Von Minden. She's our resident pediatrician, brown belt. She's 5'3", about 110 pounds.
Yeah.
And she just goes in and just wipes out all the 220 pounds.
Does she really?
Oh, dude, just moves them around like they're Jello.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu it's a different. I wish I'd started it 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It is a legit deal, and I'm not very good at it. I've won one tournament, but I get beat up a lot.
It's great. I love it.
The recovery.
But you use Core Freedom Alliance. Talk about what that is and how you use martial arts to tell people.
Well, the one thing that we do is women's self-defense classes. So when you go through sodomy as a kid, I didn't know what I didn't know at the time. I mean, you carry trauma and you baggage this stuff up, and I compartmentalized it until I was like 30. Right. I just never said anything. One day I broke down on a Jeeping trail with my wife here in Colorado. I'm like, I got to talk to you. And what came from that really, honestly, was a program where Jana is a psychologist. My wife has a private practice of 3 decades, I guess. She's dealt with more trauma victims than you can shake a stick at. We just decided one day, there's a lot of women out there that have really been hurt, really abused. I got a niece that was sadly gang raped by 4 guys in college.
Smokes.
And just totally transforms people's lives. We thought, what if we could incorporate a self-defense for ladies?
Yeah.
And we do a lot of tactical shooting, so we have a lot of women that want to shoot, but dirty street fighting is way more important. And at the end of the day, if you can't get to your pistol, how do you protect yourself? So it kind of all started there. And we had a lot of churches that we're going into to train. Well, we have people in the churches. They're going to church for a reason. They're broken. So there just seemed like this common thread that went back to either somebody's wife had been just brutalized, and now this husband doesn't know how to walk the journey. So we teach the wife self-defense while Jana counsels the couple, and as long as we don't have some kind of weird overlap on confidentiality. So Core Freedom just started with an idea of control your environment. What does it look like? And then we started getting into the church world. I think right now, we're north of 10,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot.
But it's you got to put it in context. Some of these churches are 500 or 600 people that we're training. So it's not like I'm sitting down training 8 people at a time everywhere I go. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been able to travel around the U.S. and just spend some time in South Africa. And
what were you doing in South Africa?
We did a family safari with a little bit of interview process for hunting people, I guess. There's a lot of poaching going on there.
We should probably follow up on the phrase hunting people, but go on.
Well, there's you should dig into this a little bit. It's actually interesting. So in South Africa, there are people that kidnap kids. They go into these villages. They hold the kid hostage so they can go kill the rhino. And if the parents turn on them, they keep the kid. I mean, there's just
from killing the rhino.
Rhino horn. Somebody told. I don't know how true this is, but when I was there, I was sitting down with people that do the counter trafficking and then the counter stuff. They say it's worth about $4 million a horn.
What?
On the black market because of meds and other things that come out of this thing.
I presume they're protected.
They're very protected, but what's interesting, George, is I've learned all of this in the last 6 months. So I'm not an aficionado. I barely know what I know. But while I was there, what they told me is that the they're protected in a way that they've gone in now with the baby rhinos. They're cutting the horn to prevent the trafficking and the killing of the rhino. But the problem is when they cut the horn, then the rhino can't defend itself against other rhinos. So they're actually unintentionally eradicating the species. So they're trying to figure out how to get a hold on this. But yeah, there's a couple different byproducts of it. They're pretty crazy. So while we were out there in safari, my wife is business partners with a gal who's from South Africa. So my wife goes there annually. And we got to meet the people that were the head of the counter trafficking and the counter poaching. They run the same organization. So I'm watching a lot of video there of really, really bad stuff.
Wow.
And, you'll never see it on mainstream media news here, but it is pretty dark. So we went over there and had a lot of fun and saw a lot of things, but I also took a couple hours to sit down and see what's really going on behind the scenes.
Well, it feels like you've got quite a boring life. Really hard to figure out how you get motivated to get out of bed every morning.
I don't sleep a lot.
Yeah, George. Well,
that's pretty exciting stuff, man.
No, it's good. And you talk a lot about that stuff in your Daily Carry podcast.
Yes, sir.
Jared Heyman is your co-host, I guess.
Yeah.
And you say it's a voice for faith, freedom, and common sense. So that's a wide range. What does that mean?
Well, I've got 5 ministers in my family. So I guess from the faith standpoint, I grew up in it. Also got a lot of bad experiences in the church. There's a lot of people that have had a lot of bad experiences in church. I think Jared and I are trying to do our level best to bring God into conversation, but at the exact same time, understand that no man is perfect and we're all failed and flawed. So we certainly approach it from that angle. Family is a no-brainer for me because my family is my everything. Then freedom, we're losing a lot of it right now in this country. And it just seems like everywhere we turn, I talk about this a lot. I think we got a lot of feckless leadership. We got a lot of feckless judges. We got a lot of hand slaps going on after we got good people putting a lot of, I've built my share of cases, and there's nothing like putting 200, 300, 400 hours into something and watching that thing walk out the door on the other end of it when it's a rock solid deal. And so from a faith freedom standpoint, we decided to do a podcast, and let's just talk a little bit about what's America all about to us, what's God all about, what's family about, and we dove into it, and man, it's just kind of exploded. It's really taken off. Things that we didn't see coming have been happening. So
well, and George is going to be a guest on your show.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be great.
I am.
Yeah, you are.
We got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot. You didn't know that, George. One of the things I saw on your Facebook page, you posted something about that Senate Bill 015, the mandatory prison for child sexual trafficking. People in our office, George, were behind that.
Yep.
How'd you feel? It's moved on to the next round here, but you think it's going to die, right? George,
well, I mean, I feel like most things that seem to get to the floor over there that's left leaning. If it's right leaning, get killed on the floor. I don't know. I don't know how to predict that. I mean,
my guess is this: it got out of committee 7-0. But if you listen to the action, this was yesterday. If you listen to them talk about voting for action, the Dems on that committee, the wringing of hands and the gnashing of teeth over voting for something that was mandatory prison, because that's just anathema to who they are ideologically. Like, they really believe that everybody that commits crimes, any crimes, can be cured with coloring books, hugs, and some sort of therapy or something like that. That just ain't. That's not how evil works. So they all said, well, I'm going to vote for it now, and it's with a great deal of regret, and I know I'm going to regret it. But what I think they're going to do is they're going to try to amend the bill on the floor to include this provision that they wanted in at the committee level, which grants immunity to anyone 21 years or younger who's charged with these crimes, like the solicitation, maybe even conspiracy, complicity of some kind, as long as they can announce, you know what, I was a victim of trafficking too. Now, make no mistake, I don't want to prosecute victims of trafficking, and there is a legitimate carryover for people that were trafficked to be put. Right. But the standards they put in place are virtually non-existent. It would turn it into an affirmative defense such that if someone just simply were to say, oh, by the way, I too was a trafficking victim, I'd have to disprove it beyond a reasonable doubt. It just creates too big of a loophole for people that aren't legit victims. And frankly, we're not in the business of prosecuting victims. But the defense bar wants this. Public defenders want this. I think they're going to try to do this, and it will either kill the bill or make us pass something, because we'll be like, well, we got mandatory prison out of it. And at the end of the day, we will have created this huge loophole for people to get out of this that shouldn't get the loophole.
Do you think, just out of curiosity and by comparison, the kind of the Me Too movement, we saw a lot of that, everybody became a victim So if everybody's a victim, nobody's a victim kind of statement. I saw a lot of that happen in that. And you certainly can't question victims, right? I mean, I'm sitting back and I'm thinking to myself, I'm a 6-year-old boy. I remember the smell of the carpet. I remember the fabric under my hands. You can't undo that stuff in your head. But who's the arbiter of that, I guess, is the bigger question. And so when I look at these things, you can't discount and say somebody wasn't a victim. That's like telling somebody not to be afraid of something. Like if you're afraid of spiders or snakes or high places, I can't tell you not to be afraid of that.
And he is.
And he probably is.
Both of the above.
Yeah. So, I just look through that lens. I think that's probably what scares me. Is your point is that there'll be a loophole in this thing will back end itself.
It just sort of gets watered down, and it's not what you intended, and we'll see.
There's already, by the way, a provision in the law that says if you can provide evidence, preponderance of the evidence, very low standard, of you having been trafficked or victimized in that way, that is already an affirmative defense. We don't need additional things, but they want to try to expand this in scope and lower the bar for being able to claim it. And it's like, well, then who wouldn't claim it? Like you get grabbed up trafficking kids, who wouldn't be like, I was also one.
Yeah, I got a can the other day, right before the tax stamp thing went in at the end of the year, and I'd never noticed this before. But you get to the point where you're filling out your background, and it says male, female, or non-binary on a federal form.
How did you fill that
to get
out,
a silencer? Well, of course I did non-binary, because if they come back to take it from me, I'm gonna say, well, actually, I'm a man.
I picked 2 of the 3, and I won't tell you which ones.
Yeah.
But that was astonishing to me. That's the first time I'd ever seen it, because everything else was very, very specific. I mean, have you ever done any of these things which you can be charged with criminally if you lie? And then we get down here to this thing that's not even a thing, really. And I go, that's
on a federal form.
On a federal form.
This day and age.
Yeah, that blew me away. That really surprised me. So.
That's interesting. By the way, do you go down and testify at the Capitol on these things?
I've done one time in my life. I've been down there, and I shouldn't say never again. That's not fair. It was a bad experience. But
why was it a bad experience?
Because I got 3 minutes, and I watched 5 of the 7 people in front of me on their cell phones laughing and giggling and looking down. So I just sat there for 2 minutes, and I didn't say anything.
You talking about the people on the committee?
Yeah. So I just stared at them, and at the 2-minute mark, finally somebody looked up and said, "Are you going to say anything?" I said, "Well, I'm just waiting for you all to get off your phones. I can wrap up what I need to say in 30 seconds. But if this is how y'all run stuff, no wonder we're not getting anywhere." So of course
I firmly believe that for 99% of the bills that get heard in committee, the vote is already baked in before they even set foot in that room.
Or they stick George or Danielle, one of our prosecutors, at midnight. They let her talk for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We did that on that child rape bill, which had the audacious proposition that if you rape an infant or a child, you should have to go to prison, even if you've only done it once. Like
you would think.
Just the one.
You would think.
And that thing died on a party line vote. But originally the media was there right around 3 o'clock or so. They kept us hanging out there until midnight to testify. All the media's gone. They're able to do their thing and relative secrecy. I mean, it's just it's a broken system.
Yeah, mine was on comms, and this is pre Brett Titus and LifeSpot. So this was back in the day, just on radio comms and communications with the schools, and how important it was to have comms with law enforcement so we could actually talk. So this is going well back in the day. LifeSpot, that solves all that now.
Well, we were talking about LifeSpot. Yeah. George, you know the owner, right?
I know, and I know LifeSpot. Yeah. I've been talking with Brett about this for years.
It's an app, and I was reading about it because I didn't know much about it, that dramatically reduces police response times during an active shooter situation. How would that have affected what happened in British Columbia the other day? Could it have helped? I mean, so they got on scene pretty quickly.
I don't know. I can't answer the British Columbia thing because I've actually not read the backstory to the response times. What it does essentially is everybody's got a phone. So if you can pick up your phone, swipe and hold for 3 seconds, what you're doing is you're alerting law enforcement, fire, EMS, armed security in the school, and all of the staff that you have an active threat, which would be a shooter, somebody with a knife, something that is profound. It's not for weather. It's not for barking dogs. It's not for tornadoes. It's none of this stuff. It's for one thing and one thing only. The thing I love about it, so as a SWAT team commander, as a medic, I've got 2 different roles. One, I got to get to the person and save their life. The other one, I got to stop the threat. This allows everything to respond instantaneously. So as opposed to somebody, because you're still going to 911 no matter what, you're just doing it through the app. So instead of picking up the phone, which things get very confused in the heat of the moment, right? Somebody's panicked, they're seeing something they can't get. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've responded looking for a 5'7", 130-pound guy, and I get there and he's 6'3", 290 pounds, and he's not wearing the clothes that the person described, and because people panic in the moment. The app gets rid of all of that. It isolates. It shows where everybody's at. Gives the opportunity to know where the shooter is at within proximity. So if I'm a TAC officer and I'm looking down at my MDT or my screen, I know right where the shooter's at. There's no more, he's in the second grade hallway. We have 100 schools in Douglas County. There ain't a cop in Douglas County can tell you all the schools and all the layout of all the schools. So what I love about the app is it zeroes in on the shooter, it zeroes in on the caller, and everything's app to app. So we're running bandwidth 5,000 end users for about the width of one YouTube video. Wow. So it's instantaneous. It's right now, real-time information, and anybody can update with it. So anybody that knows how to text can text the cops from the room that they're in. I mean, there's just so many things to go with it. And he's getting ready, right now he's getting ready to launch. The program is going to be called Guardian. So this is going to go to the parents. So it's going to be a parent notification as well. And that's going to be a game changer. That'll redefine, in my opinion, notification systems in the United States. And the way I guess if I had to kind of dumb this down to simple terms,
please do.
If you put a cop in a police car and put another cop in a police car in the same parking lot, and one person gets a 911 phone call that goes to the dispatch then gets a hold of the cop, and then you have the other guy who just gets the app notification. I'm telling you right now, I can't quantify the speed, but I'll bet we're 5 times faster on the app at a bare minimum, if not more. Wow. I mean, it's just that fast. Plus you know where you're going. Yeah. So it autofills the map. It gets you there. The cop doesn't have to do anything except drive and get to the shooter. Wow. There's no middleman.
Is there? I think I remember this before. Is there some functionality too where you can know from the information that the officer gets who else is armed
that
in
is
there?
Correct. Yeah. So
which is huge.
So it's so you don't have threat on threat. So if you have armed security in the school,
right,
it's color coded in a certain thing, and then the cop is color coded. So everything is color coded.
Injured too?
Injured as well.
That's a big
if somebody
deal.
goes down, you can mark injured. Now the medics know where to go. And the best part is now we don't need any more of this reunification process. So, you guys have been around for a hot minute.
Yeah, thank you for noticing.
Yeah, good looking too. Columbine, right?
George
So here I am. I replay this in training all the time. Yeah. What a lot of people don't know. I try to use this as often as possible because we have parents out there. We have a citizenry out there that is, I think they're uninformed. And it's not because they're not educated. I just don't think they know. A lot of people think Columbine and they think, how did we not get people there fast enough? It's a minute 57 before there were ever a report of shots fired. Now, this is 1999, circa 99, so not everybody had a cell phone back then, and I get that. But it came in as a grass fire, came in as a dumpster fire, came in as a medical with somebody down and not known if it's related to that. And it was only at a minute 57 when finally somebody got on the radio and said, we got shots fired inside of Columbine. And then the whole world responded. And so what we learned from that was we got to get people in quick because they came and they surrounded the school, and we all know what happened after that, right? I mean, it is a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hour process, and school after school has gone through this. So within a few months, they said, we got to change this. We got to do something. Whether you're a federal agent, you're wildlife, county sheriff, municipality, we got to get people into that school. You guys got to team up together. First one's on the scene, let's get in, which makes all the sense in the world. The problem is that's circa 2000. So we trained the same all the way up until now. Well, the problem is all of those kids that graduated, if they're malfeasance, they're up to no good, they're evil, and they want to go back into a school right now, they know the protocol. They trained the protocol. They're educated on the protocol, and the protocol hasn't changed. So if I walk into a school now, I don't need to go into the classrooms. I just need to go to where, and I'm not going to say it out loud, but I just need to go to that one spot where I know everybody's going to be. Mm-hmm. What LifeSpot changes is it allows you to flee. It allows you to get out. So we don't need a reunification spot where the bad guy knows that everybody's going to go because all the kids are practicing. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you run from here to Istanbul because we can track you. We got your GPS on your phone. Mm-hmm. So it does so many things so fast.
So is it like a monthly service? You get the app?
It's an end user deal, yeah. And if so, like here in Douglas County, I'll give you an example. We'd love to have all of there are 100 schools here in Douglas County on board. All of Elbert County is on board right now. We have it in the Douglas County Dispatch. We're doing training after training.
We have it in DCSD here.
Yes, all the schools? We do. No, we do not. We need it in Douglas County.
Oh, okay.
We have it in the Sheriff's Department Dispatch that runs Elbert County. But this is a no-brainer.
What's the holdup on here?
I'm not sure I want to say that on air.
Okay.
Well,
I'll say it off air.
Yep. We can talk about it off there.
Yeah, but
you guys have pitched it to them.
Oh yeah, and it's not a matter. I think it's a widget decision. Things sound good. I did a school safety audit down in that's R9 or 13, whatever it is in Durango. So you got a pretty blue city and a pretty red county.
Yeah. And
they had an issue where a kid had come in. He's a county farm kid. The guy's out mowing the field at 6 a.m. before school. Carries a pocket knife into the school one day, pulls it out to clean the dirt out from underneath his nails because he's a working cowboy kid. And some teacher sees it. The next thing you know, we have a full-on meltdown, and everybody shows up. So we go down to do this audit, and it's Armageddon. I mean, you got 1,000 people in an auditorium screaming at each other, and all we did was just take the drone footage from above the high school, flew the drone around for 60 seconds. So we showed the footage, and I said, look, you got 33 open doors to a high school, and you're worried about a kid carrying a 2-inch knife. But their solution was, we need a metal detector at the front door to rifle 1,700 kids through every single morning.
Choke point, sure.
And I'm like, that's what we need. We need a choke point, and we need to delay classes, and we need to make life really, really hard. Or we have this app that we can put into play, and you don't need to worry about any of this stuff anymore. Wow. But by the way, you need to shut your 33 doors because right now they're selling dope out at the creek. So lots of solutions with an amazing product. And I don't just rep for it because I like Brett. There's a backstory with Brett and I too. I think it's actually worthwhile. I don't know where you want to go on this podcast, but
we've gone a much different.
We don't.
Keep going.
I don't know if you picked up on this. We don't really have a plan.
Right.
We just sort of the plan unfolds.
Well, I'm going to give you something that you.
Well, it's always great just talking, organically. Move on to another topic.
So I fell in love with the app.
I thought you were going to say Brett. Thank you for saying.
No, not Brett.
Thank you.
Brett's a good guy.
He's a good guy. He ain't pretty.
Yeah.
He's pretty ugly.
Sorry, Brett.
Well, he was in a lot of fights. To be fair. He was a fighter.
He led with his head.
Yeah. So I did follow. I will be dead serious for a second. I'm not here to promote an app, but I will say I think it should be every school in America. When I say not to promote, I'm not going, hey, this is a live SWAT interview. That's not what this is. Right. We're in here to talk. But I do believe in it from the standpoint of, as a medic and as a TAC officer, there was nothing worse than walking in trying to find where you're going in the middle of something. And there's nothing worse that you can undo in a cop's mind than not getting there for a kid. And I've been there seconds late, and those are dark images you can't get out of your head. Brett's been there too. He's been there on the same thing, right? 20-some years SWAT in Denver. He says, I'm going to develop this app, and he's done it, and I think it should be off to the races. I think there should be 100 million end users because it's a SaaS company. It's pennies on the dollar, pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
The humor story behind this that has nothing to do with the app whatsoever, I'm doing a speaking engagement about 6 years ago for a guy named Brian Murphy. Murph was part of the Sikh Temple Massacre in Wisconsin. I think it was 2012, 2013, something like that. Brian and I become friends, been good friends over the years, and he comes out to Colorado to do something. So I'm roasting him, and I'm sharing with this Back to Blue event. Brett is there. The speaking part is over. Brett comes up to me and he says, man, gives me a hug. He says, I really appreciate what you had to say. Here's a guy who's been shot 15 times in the line of duty, point blank, survives, tells his story all over America. It's amazing. And we get talking. He says, where are you from? I said, originally here and then Michigan. He goes, oh, Michigan. Yeah, me too. I said, well, what part? And he goes, oh, it's a little town you've never heard of. And I said, well, try me.
Yeah.
He says, it was a place called Willis. And I said, you were a rail splitter?
He said, what you talking about, Willis?
Yeah. I said, you were a rail splitter? And he says, how do you know what a rail splitter was? And I said, well, I married one. He goes, well, who'd you marry? And I said, that tall, good-looking blonde right there.
Yeah.
I said, you'd know her as Jana Lockley. And he looks at me and his jaw hits the floor. He goes, that was my first high school crush.
Oh my goodness. Small world, man.
So here we are, 40 years removed from school.
Yeah.
And he's seeing Jana Lockley, his high school crush, for the first time in 40 years. He walks over and she looks at him and she's like, oh my, so one thing led to another, and we ended up, I contract with Brett and helped with the app, but I believe in it. I believe in the app. But it all started just from a funny story of just sharing at a Back the Blue event was,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool story.
How long you been with them now?
5 years. Yeah, something like that.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, I just rep it where I can.
I've seen demos of it many times.
Yeah, it sounds. I'd like to check it out.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things you were talking about, things you can't get out of your head. One of the things I can't get in my head was a video on your Facebook page of you holding a gun to Victor Marx's head. For folks who don't know who Victor Marx is, he's
And you were saying you better vote for Biden or something like that.
No, it was exactly.
I think it was Wiser. He was saying. I'm not teasing.
I love this. This is the most fun podcast I did since this morning.
That's right.
Well, we're in the top 2.
Steve Reams is. I don't know. He was pretty good.
No. Well, tell me what was going on.
All right.
Holding a gun to his head.
So we do an event called JWI. If you guys have seen the John Wick movies.
Oh yeah, love them.
All right, so John Wick is in a suit, and he's running around, and he's taking care of business. So we can't call it the John Wick Invitational, but Jared, my partner, my buddy, his name is Jared Wayne by given name.
Look at you. That's
so
perfect.
We call it JWI. It's the Jared Wayne Invitational, but it kind of centers in and around some of the John Wick stuff, and we've gotten the music producer of the movie has come out and come to the events. We've gotten the stunt double. Tatiana Goddard was just here. She works for Terran Tactical. We use all of Terran Tactical's weapons that they use in the movie. They've donated them all to us. We use X suits, which they use in the movie.
Oh.
So this thing's got 15, 20, 30 million views, depending on which video you're watching. So to answer your question, how we got there was... I don't know that he saw it or somebody shared it with him, but all I know is a connection came in with Victor Marks, and he said, "Okay, I got to go down."
Yeah.
And I got to stump for myself for a couple minutes in front of this crowd at this live event where all these guys are banging on each other. And I said, "Well, there's a prerequisite." So I do gun strips and I do a lot of self-defense. And I said, "You're the best ever. You hold the world record.
Yeah.
So will you let me take one of these Terran Tactical fake guns, it's not a real gun, point it at your face, and will you strip it out of my hand?" And he said, "Sure."
You asked him if he'd strip for you.
Yeah, strip. Is that what you heard?
I think I did. I was yawning in the middle, and I'm pretty sure it cut off one of the words, but it sounded like that.
The district attorney heard strip from Marks. So Victor came on, and he's talking, and he's doing some things. And it was that fast. I never felt it.
I saw him.
Really?
It was that quick. And he said he slowed it down so the audience could see it. It was good. It was fast.
How do you even practice stuff like that? You just have your kids all right, hold a gun to daddy's head now.
So I teach that with women. So we, on a knife, we always say you want to create distance. On a gun, you want to close distance. Because if you can get in with reach of it, you own the gun. The guy with the gun doesn't own the gun anymore. Wow, you own it. Yes, sir.
That was impressive video.
Yeah.
So you like a couple people in this room are conservative in blue Colorado. What do you think about the future of Colorado?
Wait a minute. Why do you think he's conservative?
Why do you think he's blue?
Yeah. Well, polling results, election results.
Is that what it is?
That's Victor Mark the Strip. I'm assuming.
That's libertarian. That's very right.
It's progressive libertarian. Ask me the question one more time because I want to make sure that.
What's your take on where we're heading in Colorado now? Do you see changing, or is it frustrating to be here now?
It's funny. We talked about this morning. Every guest that we have had on the Daily Carry, gubernatorial, Senate, House District, you name it.
Yeah.
What do you think is the number one problem in Colorado? And it's been one of two answers, and it teeter-totters between one and two. It's either crime or cost of living or cost of living and crime. Those are the two answers I've gotten from everybody at every level. I think it's mental health. My personal take is I think we have a mental health crisis in Colorado. And I think it's on a level of epic proportion, but because it is so sparse and it is so intermittent, and so unless you see like this thing in British Columbia yesterday, right, where you have this person who clearly has mental health issues as a trans.
And a female too.
Male.
Oh, male. I thought it said female there.
Well, that's what the news calls it. So it was a dude.
Okay. Oh.
It was a dude that wanted to be a girl, and a lot of grooming, a lot of things that went on. But so you have serious mental health issues on that side, and then of course if you're going to go out and kill innocent people, you have mental health issues. So we have a twofold problem there. I think it's mental health kind of across the board, and I gauge it through my wife as a psychologist, through her practice, what she sees the changes. The other thing, I call them trifolds. We get in the mail 3-4 times a week, these little 12-inch tall by 6-inch wide things you open up, and here's your next continuing education course available to you as a therapist or a psychologist. 95% of them now are all mental health issues as to trans, as to...
Okay, well, what's the source then of this? If it's mental health, and I do think mental health is a huge issue for us, why are we more mentally health challenged today than when you got here?
Well, I think
we're more aware of it.
I think we're more aware of it. I think social media is, my phone's on the floor, but George is here. I think this thing right here is the downfall to mankind. I genuinely do. I think we're so sourced into it right now. I got an update on my phone the other day, and here's what I noticed. The swipe is the same. The numbers look different. To get into the photos was a little different. But what it's doing is it's causing me to have to adjust to it. Mm-hmm. So the algorithm now is, am I going to follow that? And I don't want to go deep into the weeds with some kind of weird conspiracy theory, but it retrained me on how to use my phone. As opposed to me just enjoying my phone. Now I got to pick it up and I got to figure out what this thing is that is showing me. And I just think I just think we're incrementally just driving this way. Plus, I think we've lost leadership in the home. I think we've lost a lot of leadership with fathers, because we are, again, I walked into a restaurant the other night, Jana and I literally, right down here, I'm not going to name the restaurant, but it was great food. But we walked in and there were 15 tables of families and there was not one person talking to each other. Everybody was on their phone, staring at their phone. So I think the sourcing, the lack of communication, the upbringing, and then the acting out. So we're seeing it at the school level. We're seeing some kind of crazy policies that have come into the schools. I mean, Douglas County actually had kitty and dog bowls in their bathrooms last year. People said, "Oh, you guys are making that up." I'm like, I've seen the videos of it. So we've got
not a Rock Canyon. My kids didn't tell me that.
Or
so
Mountain Vista.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's not at Mountain Vista, but Rock Canyon
but
for
Rock
sure.
Canyon is secure.
No, they've got it locked down. But Mountain Vista, obviously.
I just think we're seeing a lot of it. I really do. I think it's a genuine problem, and because it's hard to isolate or pinpoint, everything just kind of feels off. We're seeing, went downtown Denver for the first time in 3 years. I couldn't believe what I saw. And so I genuinely do believe we have a problem. And some people say, well, that's just a drug problem. Well, but is it? Is that just a drug problem, or is that people that are fill in the blank? And so I think you're seeing it. I think you're not hearing it from the pulpit. We have a lot of people that are preaching. They're not willing to call out what's really going on in society. So I just think it's a slow degeneration. And I think it's been a trickle effect. And now all of a sudden it's picked up speed and we don't know what to do with it. That's just my take.
Do you know a lot of people who have either moved or said they're moving out of Colorado because of some of these changes, whether they agree it's mental health or anything else?
Yeah, you're looking at one of them right now. I bought land in Texas a few years ago. I sat down with Victor. We had a very candid conversation. His kids won't come back. They live in California and they won't come back.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah, I do, George. I run a security team back in the day up at Southeast, and I can tell you over a third of those people, 90 people on the team, third of those people are gone. They no longer live here. I've got 20 on my team at the church we go to here now, and I got 4 of them that are moving in the next 2 months. And they're just moving because they can't take it anymore.
Where are they moving to?
2 of them, one of them is going to Tennessee, one is going to Alabama, and 2 of them are going to Texas.
A lot of Texas. I got friends like that too this summer that are moving.
Tennessee is a hot spot right now. I got a couple other buddies of mine that are just personal friends of mine, and it's just lower cost of living and outlying land and whatnot that's available there. Cost of living here is expensive.
But you said you came to Colorado and fell in love with the place. Do you think the place is way different now because of the people?
I love Colorado. I mean, if you take the politics out of Colorado, I love Colorado. Yeah. I do. I absolutely love it. I am a little disappointed. I will say, look, I don't want to dig on anybody on
this is the Rockies,
level.
Isn't it? You're about to say something about the Rockies.
I don't like baseball. I know. I'm probably.
Thanks for coming, Micah. This has been
fun. I'm a hockey guy and I am a Red Wings fan. So.
Oh my! What happened?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Did you go to the game the other day? Did you see it? Okay. Yeah. So the Avs went into Detroit and spanked Detroit 5-0.
Right.
And Detroit came over here and spanked them 2-0. When I say 2, that wasn't the score. It's just the fact they just spanked them all game long.
Yeah.
Did you know what's great about it?
No.
It was a sea of red. It was like 70% Detroit.
Was it really?
Oh yeah. There ain't nothing like going to Ball Arena and seeing Red Wings fans.
There's a picture of you on your Facebook page when you were wearing Red Wings stuff. I was like, oh, I got to talk to Mike.
What's going on?
I wear it proudly.
See you live there.
It's a fair question, and we bought the land in Texas.
Where in Texas?
It's a little place called Poolville. It's outside. So Fort Worth, Weatherford is about 40 minutes from there, and Poolville is about 10 minutes outside.
Okay.
And there's 2 5,000-acre parcels on either side of me that are ag,
ready to be developed, like they're zoned.
Never going anywhere.
Wow.
They're controlled. They're like 7th generation owners. So we We have land sitting on a little peninsula off of a lake that I bought for $6,800 an acre. I think I could sell it for.
You can build on it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I have 2 Longhorns. Two of my kids went to the University of Texas.
My God, I thought he was talking about the actual cattle.
I did too.
In Highlands Ranch in my backyard.
Yeah, that's a wallaby is enough.
Too. I love it. We used to go down to Austin all the time. It's a great place.
I can tell you this, and I my wife is not completely on board because she's got a practice here in support. She's got a lot of people, and my wife's an amazing. I mean, I don't think she's ever even had a business card. Everything's word of mouth. It would be hard to uproot my wife. I think she loves Colorado, but I can tell you if the midterms go down.
Define what you mean by go down, because I don't have a real warm, fuzzy feeling about the midterms.
I do not have a good feeling either. And I told her, I said, we're, Smokey and the Bandit eastbound and down. We're probably going to be southbound and down. Yeah, we'll be loading up trucking. And I love it here. I do. I Jeep, I ATV, I ski. I go to Ouray I love Colorado. I'm almost indoctrinated with the backcountry of Colorado. That's how much I love it. Yeah. But I can tell you, driving around Douglas County, it breaks my heart. I just this morning saw a whole new leveling of landscape that's going to take another view away from us here. Mm-hmm. When we moved to Castle Rock, I stood on the back porch of the sheriff's department right over here, second floor, right outside of the patrol room, and I watched the sun go down over the Front Range for the first time in my life, and I said, I cannot believe they are paying me $48,000 a year to be a cop here and watch that sun go down. And that was in June of 2000.
But you're right about the development, but in part it is a testament to what makes Douglas County attractive to so many families.
Sexy
too.
It's sexy.
They want to come here. Absolutely. And they also like the idea that, and I don't understand how this happens, but we attract a lot of people because things are great here, largely red county. Mm-hmm. And some of those people come from blue places and they get here and they're like, you know what I miss? I miss all that crap I left to come here to this place. And so we get all the development, plus we get the changing political tides. You've seen Highlands Ranch. It's just bluing.
It's awful. It's awful. And it's easy to go, we'll move back. They're not going to, and nobody's going anywhere. I mean, Douglas County is just going to keep growing. You can see what's happening down south in front of Crystal Valley, and this is going to go and go. But pretty soon, in my opinion, I think Lone Tree will be touching Colorado Springs in the next 10 years.
So you're talking about like the LA corridor, really?
It feels like it. I mean, there's some areas down there that you obviously, because of who owns it, it's not going to sell it. But for the most part, I think it's coming. I think the wave is coming. Just
to make sure that I've got a real understanding, your wife will not let you leave to Texas. So it's really going to be something that you keep looking at as an escape hatch that you never get to touch.
Well played, George. All I have to remind her is, so I got a Trump card.
Yeah.
And I don't like
DJT card?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I got that too. Actually, I got 1 degree of separation from that man with like 9 different people. No, in all fairness, I do have a Trump card. It's called water. My wife she swims 3,000 yards for a warm up. She's got to go to the rec center to do it.
That is so much.
So yeah, that's a ridiculous amount. She misses the water. And we have none here. So for me to say, hey, remember that little piece of property we have that's sitting on that lake down there, and we have friends that live next door to us that have a 26-foot, 590 horsepower ski. Yeah, there's a big selling pitch there for sure. I think I could get her to go for the water.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, your daughter's Naval Academy graduate. She loves the water too, right?
Yes, sir. She
Where is she now?
So my daughter's an anomaly. She's born and raised. She's the only true, literal,
Colorado
native, I guess. My son's been here all but 2 years of his life, so he's 28.
Where was high school?
Douglas County, for both of them.
Both of them went to the OG?
Yep. They went to the OG, and my son did the International Baccalaureate.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Law, which he regrets.
Really?
Well, it's an amazing program, but he lost the ability to have friendships because of you just have so much to do. Where my daughter did AP, got essentially the same education, and she had all the free time in the world.
Right.
Yeah, and she was, my son did play. I coached hockey for Douglas County for many years, and my son played hockey, which was fun. So that was great for us. But my daughter did everything. She did all the sports and band and chair orchestra and all that stuff.
It's impressive, yeah.
She, I've got story after story. So Mom and her went on an Ivy League tour, the sophomore year. So she's like, hey, let's go out and go spend some time on the East Coast and go look at Brown and Rice and fill them all in. And it just happened to be the weekend of graduation at the Naval Academy. And somebody said, hey, you ought to bounce over to Annapolis, go get some seafood. The Naval Academy is graduating tomorrow. Yeah. So they did. And my wife called me from the stadium, from the football stadium, calls me up. And the first thing my wife says to me, she goes, "There's a lot of good-looking men in white." I said, have you seen A Few Good Men? And she said, yeah. So you remember what they said in A Few Good Men about the whites, right? And she started laughing. She says, but no, seriously, she goes, "Micah, this is impressive." Then my daughter calls me an hour later, and she says, "Dad, I know where I want to go to school." And we had never talked. RISD was her choice at the time, Rhode Island School of Design. But so she came back. She started researching. She wrote letters. So Ken Buck endorsed her, which was very nice. Michael Bennett. So she got a bipartisan endorsement. Nice. The VP endorsed her. So
the vice president?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's pretty good.
She got 3 endorsements, which was amazing. Got into it, fell in love with it, and got over there and decided, I think I want to go sailing. And I said, "Honey, you've never been on a boat." She says, "I think I can do it." My daughter, when she says she's going to do something, is get out of her way. And so
everybody has to sail there as a plebe. They teach you to sail.
Well, they do, but she got on the sailing team. And so she ended up traversing up to New York and to Bermuda, and they did races, and they competed with all the international teams. The Naval Academy has a sailing team that competes. And they did okay. I think they finished middle of the field in most cases, but she fell in love with it. She absolutely fell in love with it. And then she thought she was going to fly 35s, and about 2 months before graduation, she got the letter that said, we're cutting 10% of the program to go to drones. And because of her mathematics, they said, "You can go nuclear." And she's like, "Well, there's only one option. I'm going to go to a carrier." And fortunately, because she was on the sailing team, they gave her the opportunity to have the con on the boat. So she drives the boat, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I don't know where she's at right now, though. She's either on deployment, and I can't talk to her.
Yeah. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
That's how many years is she into her service?
Oh, just when she graduated in 24.
Yeah,
so she's a year and a half in.
She have plans to stay, or do you know? Does she say? Is it like
in the Navy?
Yeah.
Well, if she had flown 35s, she would have made a career out of it.
Yeah.
But she's liking the boat. She is. She's enjoying it. I don't know. I mean, she had to sign. I think it's called a 7 for 12 or something, to where you give X amount of years to do X amount of things. Well, that's when she was going to go into flight. But that same commitment still holds true, even though she got reassigned. So she'll do a minimum of 12.
But she'll get her master's.
Then you're over 50%.
Yeah.
Then they're like, "You're
so
so close. You're so
it's
close."
It's a trickle effect. It's she probably my baby girl's an anomaly. I think she'll end up in the CIA. I think she'll go. I think she'll go 12. Yeah, she speaks 4 languages.
What?
Yeah.
Any of them English?
One of them is English. That's actually her worst.
Is it?
Same with Tom. She learned from her daddy. So I speak Kentucky. And,
Oh, yeah.
So she's got a lot of Kentuckyism. She's got my sarcasm and my.
What else is she speaking?
She speaks French. She speaks Arabic, and she is halfway through Japanese right now.
Is this all Duolingo?
Yeah. No, she went over.
She Duolingo's, yeah.
But you said she went over there for a summer and learned.
She went over for a semester and learned Arabic, and came back, and then she was housed with somebody who spoke Arabic. So she got
immersed.
Immersed. Thank you.
I need to have her on the podcast.
She's a hoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's way funnier than I am.
Well, Mike, we really appreciate you joining. Any final words of advice for anybody listening right now? Both of our viewers, both of our listeners.
Words of advice? Head on a swivel, man. I don't know. This has been so much fun. This has just been fun because it's lighthearted. I would say this, and I don't know if this is advice as much as it's hope. I said on the podcast a couple different times, I think Trump had to win 45, lose 46 to come back for 47. And the comparison that I'll put into it is we had to test drive the lunacy in 46. We had to see just how far this country would go or how far gone we are. And I'll be honest with you, I have a hard time defending him sometimes for some of the things he does and says, and that's fine. I'm a grown man and I'll stand on it. But I will say this, it's not nearly as far gone as what 46 was. And if I've seen any hope come into this country, it is this. We lost a lot of that millennial generation, so to speak. I think they're very wayward. I think there's just a lot of not critical thinking is just kind of out the window. But what I am seeing right now is I'm seeing kind of that 12. I'm gauging this on coaching hockey, jiu-jitsu, some other things. I think we're seeing that kind of that 12 would be on the low side to about 16 to 17-year-old generation that witnessed 46 happen. and their critical thinking is through the roof. And they're like, screw that. That's like total BS. So I'm very, very hopeful for our country from that age demographic, that I think that those kids are going to grow up and they're going to see things in a very different light and have a very different perspective. I don't know if that's words of advice, but if you're a parent out there and you're trying to raise a 13 or 14-year-old, just remember they watched that test drive. They saw a lot of that craziness go on, and either they're going to get baptized and indoctrinated into it, or they're going to turn away from it. And I'm hoping that more people turn away from it.
Listen, with that in mind, and none of those folks are in a position to vote right now, maybe one or two of them. What's your prediction then just for the state, man? Because I know you know some folks that are involved in this. You've interviewed some of these people. Tell me who wins the Republican primary and who wins the Democrat primary for governor, and who comes away with that thing?
Well, Marks is the front runner right now by far, as far as the monetary.
Over Barr, too?
Well, as far as money goes.
Money,
so, I mean, as far as donations, I mean, I don't know if he's 2-1 or 3-1 or what he is, but it's way out there. Yeah. I think he needs to debate. I think not debating is not helping him right now. I think he needs to get out there. I think Barb put out something yesterday. She's like, "I'm a woman. Are you afraid to debate me? I must bust out laughing." That's a good statement, right? So I think Victor needs to get out there, and I think he needs to put his platform.
Did you tell him that? Have you ever talked to him and been like, dude, just get in the ring?
Kind of, well, we didn't say that on the podcast because honestly, at the time when we did the podcast,
that was before all that.
That was before all of that.
That's right. It was before.
So, look, there's a lot of people saying a lot of things about Victor right now, pro and con.
True.
And you got to dig into this stuff, and it's hard to vet every little thing that is out there, but you got to dig into it. We're going to have Scott Bottoms on Tuesday. We're going to have Altman on Thursday. That'll be an interesting conversation either way. They both have their unique platforms. But your question was who
wins?
If Victor debates and he does what he's doing right now, because he's got a great media presence. He's got a really good push out there, a great media team. If he debates and does well, he's the front runner.
He wins the nomination?
I think he wins the nomination.
Okay. Does he have a chance?
How about on the Dem side? Is it Weiser or Bennett?
I think it's Bennett.
And then those guys go head-to-head November.
Yeah.
Hell, that's only 9 months from now, man. I can't believe it.
I think it's Bennett on namesake. I think it's Weiser on. I think he's the more dangerous of the two. And if we truly are that far removed, then he's going to win in the landslide. If we still have the middle ground, Bennett will take it. And that's what I'm hopeful for. I'm hopeful that we have a middle ground that understands. Not because I want Bennett in office. I just don't want Weiser in office. That guy terrifies me.
Yeah, same. How about between Marks and Bennett?
Well, again, if Victor comes out with a platform, the sustainability, I mean, everybody just says it's Denver and Boulder, and it's really not. There's a lot of blue out there. I mean, there's a lot of blue in Douglas County right now.
Yep.
The rural, Victor will own. The immediacy, I mean, you gotta have that platform. And if you don't have that, you don't stand a snowball's chance in Hades. So he's got to debate. He's got to out debate, and he's got to be on point. I mean, the country's split 50-50 right now. I mean, look at the last election. Look at the previous election. Not the Biden election. That's nonsense. But if you just look at the country, we're split. Colorado's pretty much right there too.
You think so?
I do. I think there's 5% in the middle. I think there's 5% that sway it. I don't think it's the 1% that we're seeing across the board.
I don't think it's 1%, but I worry that our U's, and in the old days, the U's, the unaffiliateds, were more right-leaning. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like we are, because of whatever changes we've had, influx and change in mind, I worry that the U's tend to lean the other way more, and it becomes harder for us to grab them up.
It does.
We got to grab some of them up.
Do you think it's just because we lost critical thinking skills and degree of common sense?
I think it's such a combination.
And I don't mean to be funny. I think it really is.
I think it's a combination of things. One is low information voters, the educational system. I mean, I see it with my own kids.
Yeah.
And they grew up in a Republican household, and they don't come out of school Republican. And it isn't because they're teaching them how to think. They're telling them stuff like my son, who's a very smart kid, when he's like, I really just, I don't like Ronald Reagan. I think he did some, bad thing. And I'm like, that's what I said. I'm like, son, what are they telling you in school? Because I'm like, Ronald Reagan was awesome. No. Ronald, I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And so we have long conversations about it. And I'm like, where are you getting this? And I don't think it's TikTok.
Oh, man. I wish I could take your son and transport him back to 1984 Cobo Hall, Detroit, Michigan, because I got drugged to a Young Republicans deal by my government teacher. And I was not a school kid.
Yeah.
I bucked the system. And we sat on the floor, and I sat in the last corner of the last row of the floor with a little bit of stadium seating going up. And I went to a young Republican student. Reagan was the speaker.
Oh, wow.
Came down off the stage, Secret Service around him, walks all the way down, dude. I'm telling you, it felt like I was 100 yards away from this guy. And he comes up, and I'm in the last row in the last corner, and he walks right over, and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He shakes my hand. He says, "You're going to do great things, young man."
Oh.
Wow. I almost cry when I think about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Couldn't even told you who Ronald Reagan was when I went.
That's impressive.
And I look back now, and it might have been the single most defining moment of my life from an outsider touching. And I don't mean the pun intended. I mean, just literally, he changed me in a way that I can never undo. And my government teacher had that picture up on his wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's the only president I've ever. I mean, I had a guard. I did a detail for Clinton once as a cop, but I was watching a post office can. I wasn't working the detail. But that's the closest I've ever been to anything with that kind of notoriety. And it really, even to this day, still gives me chills when I think that he just walked right up and did that and just kept going. Man.
Well, I hope your predictions are right. I don't know how this thing is going to turn out. It wouldn't surprise me. For sure, Bennett, Marks, it wouldn't surprise me if that becomes the matchup. Just what happens in November.
Yeah, I mean, the battleground will be launched, but I don't think, to me, and this is just me, if I'm Victor Marks, I'm going in and I'm attacking at least 3 specific bills, Senate bills or House bills, and that's all I'm going to be talking about the entire time. Give me the reason why it's okay to separate families away. Give me a reason why it's okay to have children cut up their bodies. Explain that to the general public, how that's okay. Then get into the whole 2A thing with SB, what is it, 004 now, and the extension therein. I mean, I'd be hammering those things home. Because you got a lot of people in this country that are conservative-minded people that are scared right now. They're watching Colorado. I think Colorado, personally, I think it's going to be the epicenter.
Really?
Oh, I do. I absolutely. I think this will be the most watched governor's race in America.
The part 2 of this podcast, Tom, is going to have to be when we talk Micah into running for office.
Oh, yeah.
That will be.
Ain't a snowball.
You say it. You just jinxed yourself. You just jinxed yourself.
You all run together.
And that way, that's another reason that you won't go to Texas is because you can't when you're holding office up here. We probably need to get your wife involved in this somehow.
She is way smarter. You want her running, trust me. This has been fun. I really
thanks for doing it, man.
Genuinely appreciate it.
Me too, Mike.
Yeah, this has been great.
I felt like I knew you already talking to you on the phone.
You've done some digging over there.
You know what?
He's a reporter, in his past.
I sit down with Steve Reams walked in today and sat down. When he first of all, he shook my hand outside. Yeah. But I pulled into the parking lot. This is great. I pull into the parking lot. I drive all the way through the parking lot, and I see an F-150 at the end. It's a police truck. Yeah. But it's not marked. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's the sheriff. I pull in. I back up next to him. I act like I don't see him there. And I'm getting the stuff out. And I put my pistol on real slow in the small of my back. And I pull out. You know who Buford Pusser is?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So Buford I pull out my – No, not Buford T. Justice. No. Not Smokey in the Bathroom. Buford Pusser.
Was that with the big 2x4?
Yeah.
Don't they think he may have killed his wife now or something like that?
Dude, don't destroy my.
I'm sorry.
He's one of my heroes.
Anyway, go on.
I'm a Kentucky kid. He was McNairy County, Tennessee, 1974. So I'm getting out of the truck.
Joe Don Baker.
There you go. Now we're on the same page. So I put my pistol in the small of my back at 5 o'clock, and I pull out what I call Buford. It's my stick I keep in my truck. And anytime I'm interviewing a sheriff, I always bring my walking stick in. So I get out, and I got my stick. I put my gun in, and I start to walk in, and I turn around, look back over the truck, and I go, "Come on." Because the whole time he's just sitting in there, and I'm not looking at him, and I know he's watching me. And he gets out, and he just shakes his head. And he goes, "Man," I was watching you like put everything on. He goes, "I wasn't sure what was going on." I said, "Good, it was just for you." But he had a great handshake. He's a good man.
He's a good dude.
Really
good sense of humor too, man.
He was a fun guy. So it was a good.
We were pushing the DA and the sheriff radio show.
Yeah, I still think there's some mileage there to maybe head. Someone said, "Hey, I'd love to see Reams run as governor and Brauchler run as lieutenant governor." And I texted him right there on the radio, and I said, "I'll be your number 2, but you have to let me show you how to lift weights." He texts back from the radio, "I'll bet they're girl weights."
Yeah. He's got meatballs for a hand.
He's a big boy. Fella. He's a big fella.
Big man.
Yeah, you get the feeling that.
Micah, knocked out of the park, man. Very nice.
No, it's fun.
Thank you, my man. Thank you so much.